Hey, what's up, everybody? Toney here, and today we're going to be talking about 3 easy ways to improve your artwork. So number 1, this is first, and I feel like one of the most important things is you have to practice the basics. And what I mean by the basics is, you want to practice your basic shapes in line. So you see right here, I have a square and a circle, a triangle, and the reason why we practice these basic shapes is because they end up being the building blocks to everything that we want to kind of practice and achieve. So it's very important to get these basics down. Only person I ever think could draw a perfect circle was Michelangelo. Like, do one line to do a perfect circle. But you don't need to like run up an entire sketchbook of this stuff. But when you're doodling, you're at school or you're at work or something like that, and you're just doodling, it's always good to practice these, because then it evolves into something much, much deeper. Once you have, practiced the basic shapes, you want to take those shapes and try to put them in a perspective now. And that is pretty crucial, because once you can start drawing these figures in perspective, these simple shapes, and the sphere is a little bit different because you have to understand like shading a little bit, because no matter what perspectives you look at it from, it's an infinite set of angles. So we're just going to do like a little shade here. I'll make it 3D, and then gonna make this into a pyramid. So once you understand these basic shapes, they will tend to translate into things that are a little bit, more applicable to what you're trying to learn or do. So I got the circle here, I got a triangle here, I got a square or rectangle, I should say, for the ribs. So these basic shapes will help you achieve a stronger art style, not art style, excuse me, but a understanding the basics of figure drawing. And it's been able to help me get better at my own figure drawing just by learning these basic shapes and committing them to memory and being able to draw them from many different perspectives. Get the triangles again for the feet. And just that simply, you can see how I'm using these basic shapes on a regular basis. For the arms, I'm using a cylinder, which is basically a combination of the circle and the rectangle. And this is actually something you should probably practice as well. We use the cylinder a lot. Neck, arms, legs. Do a simple box for the hand. And then rectangles for the fingers. Oop, that finger's too long. And so on and so forth. So just looking at that, you can see the progression from where you kind of want to be with it. This guy has a super long neck and a really short body. This gesture is odd. Moving quickly, let me clean that up a little bit. He's a little off balance. But you can see the progression from the simple shape square that you practice, putting it into perspective, and then taking that and making it into a figure. So it's very important to practice the basics. Number 2, and this is very important, is to draw from life. Now, a lot of people who are artists, especially starting out, for someone like me, definitely, and my cousin had to correct me on this, is a lot of artists don't want to copy. They want to, like, especially when it's early in the game, you want to kind of they want to kind of develop their own stuff, and they want to, as artists, some of us may be shy, but we do have an ego to a certain degree where we want people to know that we drew this and we took the time to draw something, or that we drew it from our memory, which is very impressive. But a lot of these artists that we really like and we enjoy, that we feel like draw a lot of items and stuff like that from their memory, is because they've built up an artist lexicon, or like an artist dictionary. And what that dictionary is compiled of is a lot of different things that they've drawn, and they're able to pick and choose certain things from certain areas, and recreate that, from their mind. So it is from their imagination to a certain degree, but a lot of it is things that they have practiced in the past, and they've practiced a lot of that from drawing from life. So, I'm not making this too realistic. I'm actually not making it realistic at all. Right now, I'm just kind of doing a puppet for it. But as you can see, as I'm drawing this from this image, or if you ever get an opportunity to go to a life drawing class, I'm learning things. As I'm going through, I'm constantly learning, like, oh, okay, the shoulders can only go out this far. So that means that the arm can only be this long. Oh, okay. So drawing from life gives you a better understanding to making your characters, whether they're cartoony or anime or male or female. As you can see, I just did kind of a male form, even though I'm drawing a female. Drawing these characters from life gives you a better understanding and makes your characters feel more realistic. Whether you're drawing somebody from Adventure Time or Bravest Warriors, those characters still have a certain feel to them. They still stay true to their own visual shape language, their own proportions, and you learn a lot of that from drawing from life, from just taking photos or going to a park and then drawing people at the park. Another good site to use is Pixel Lovely. You can go to Pixel Lovely. I think it's pixel-lovely.com, or you type it in Google, Pixel Lovely figure drawing, and they have an amazing setup where they do a lot of gestures, and you go through and you just run through a bunch of timed gestures. And I use it a lot, actually. I normally do it for a warm-up. As you can tell, I didn't warm up this morning before I decided to do this, so I'm moving a little slow and a little sloppy, but it's a great resource to use. There's a lot of things up there, not just like girls or guys, but there's also different animals and stuff like that. If you want to kind of learn how to draw animals and so on and so forth, they have that. So, and then also you can go to YouTube and look up New Masters Academy. They have a really great kind of speed drawing, gestural thing they have going there. And that's a really great resource. I found that out from a friend of mine, Senor Antonio, aka Fool Error. So as you can see, I just kind of did this really quickly, but now that I've done this, I can go back and recreate something like this on my own, without the image, because now I've kind of practiced it before, I've seen it before. And you'll realize that sometimes when you start drawing, you're drawing a lot of the same poses over and over again. And that's because you might have seen your favorite artist do it, and you were copying them a couple times, and now it's stuck in your head for when you're doing it. And that's what you kind of want to build when you're drawing from life. So it'll improve the realism of your characters, but also add to your artist dictionary of things that you can draw. And last but not least, and honestly, this is something I live and die by, if you want to learn how to do something, you have to use repetition all the time. So, for example, this is like one of my favorite poses. I kind of like to practice all the time. And it's just a simple character standing. And I think I did it earlier in this kind of like heroic pose. But I don't feel like I've kind of mastered this pose yet. So what I do is I practice it over and over and over again. And it's definitely gotten better from the last time, from each and every time I basically try it. So that's one thing I find is very, very helpful, is that you practice anything you want to try to learn over and over again. So if you want to learn, like, I don't know, Naruto's Rasengan, don't just practice it once and be like, oh man, that was really hard, I can't do it. You know, you take the time, you draw it one time, you know, on the front of a piece of paper, then you flip the piece of paper over, and then you draw it again. And I guarantee you the second time you do it, it will probably be better, simply because like you'll understand things a little bit more. You'll have a better understanding of just, oh, okay, he's actually leaning more to the left, or he's actually doing this, or he's actually doing that. And you start to develop a better eye to see these subtle nuances of certain parts of your stance, you know. So maybe maybe the calf was too hyperextended and it wasn't straight enough. So I changed that in the second version. And I see, okay, I get a little bit of a different feel. It looks like my character's leg is pointed out, you know, in front of him. And then maybe I alter the arms a little bit. So now I have the character with folded arms. So I will normally do this, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times. And you might feel like, oh, that's kind of boring because I don't want to draw the same thing over and over and over. But to be honest, with the little variations that you add to it, it actually is fun. And then you also see your progress, you also see your growth, and it will help you with experimentation. Also, as an artist, you have to learn to experiment, and by doing things by repetition, you will start to experiment a little bit more, and then you will start to get things. You'll start to get more of your own things from your mind because you are experimenting. And sometimes when you experiment, you know, you fail, like this. I bent the knee in because I wanted it just to feel like, okay, maybe he is just like one of his feet is on his tippy toes or something like that. And I can see it looks more like he's falling over. So I don't want to do something like that. Or I see that and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just alter it again and maybe I straighten his leg out. And now, even though it doesn't look like he's standing, it looks like I have a little bit of a walking pose, which will help me in the future. So, yeah, make sure whatever you're practicing, don't just do it one time. At least try it twice. And if you really, really want to learn it, do it 3 to 5 times. And I guarantee you on the 5th time, I'm not to say that you will have mastered it, but it will look more to your liking. And then just as a bonus, if you do all 3 of these steps every day, I can guarantee you that in a week, you'll see the difference in your artwork. And it doesn't take very long. And the time that I've been doing this, not a lot of time has passed. And I've done 3 different things. I've drawn something from life. I've practiced my basic shapes. I found a pose that I like that I want to practice over and over again. And I've done it 3 times, 3 different variations. And it's taken me less than an hour. So if you take an hour out of the day, or if you're like me and you're like, I'm going to draw for 4 to 6 hours a day, you can knock out this basic training super early, and then you can go into other things that you feel like you want to draw and that you want to practice. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys got all the information that you needed. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later.